So a quick video to discuss and describe what salads you can grow in a greenhouse or polytunnel over winter in this country, in the UK, or in any climate which is similar to this. Now this is a climate where it doesn't freeze until it doesn't freeze heavily, I would say, and continuously until January, February. But it can, it can freeze before the end of the year, usually not too bad though. Also, this is a climate where it's very wet outside, so being in here, having plants in here, allows them to grow without wind and without rain, apart from the irrigation we give them if we need to. And this is a big advantage over the outside, because today, for example, it's been pouring down, literally buckets and buckets of rain, lots of wind, 40 miles per hour winds, and we've been harvesting in that, and it hasn't been nice. Plants get destroyed in those conditions. The plants we have outside have been adapted to those conditions since they were little, and so they're all right. But in here, obviously, they have a huge advantage. So let me just go through what we've got here. We've got some baby kale, some coriander. This, we call it baby kale. You can let it get as big as you want, but we have bigger kale outside, so we harvest this one very small to add it to salads. Red Russian and red rubble. At the back we've got lettuce, that's Brighton, a variety of lettuce. Dill, landcress, really hot, spicy brassica salad. Red Grenoble lettuce, Salanova. There's some garlic, so now we're not going to be here next year to harvest the garlic, so we didn't plant any. This is just some bulbs that were forgotten in the ground when we harvested them in July. But normally we would plant 2 rows of garlic in between the 3 rows of lettuces there, and so we would have tons of garlic in here growing at the same time as the lettuce without any interference, because garlic is a very vertical plant, and so it doesn't really shade anybody out. So more lettuces here, and there's different varieties there. That's called Gilad. Here we got some Salanova, some other Brighton, more Salanova lettuces, some mostly lettuces really here. Then we've got Choy Sum, which is this Chinese broccoli, very nice, very tasty, and it can be added to salad because it's a tender stem type of broccoli, very, very tasty. It's not really that broccoli-like, it's more, you can see it there, it's more like a mustard with a small broccoli shoot, which is broccoli-looking shoot, which is really nice. More coriander. Claytonia, winter purslane, really nice, and in spring it will give you flowers which are edible as well. More landcress, what was that one? Chervil, lamb's lettuce. You could have transplanted or sown this a lot thicker than this, but that's the way it went. Dill, Chervil, Claytonia, we've seen all of these already, and there's more Choy Sum here. It needs a bit of watering here, it's a bit dry. And we could have had more rocket. Actually, I don't think we put much rocket. Oh yeah, this is actually this is rocket and some is Choy Sum. Here we go. So this is rocket and this is cultivated rocket. So in here you have all the ingredients for salads that can, this can take you throughout the winter, depending on how much space you have and how many people you want to feed. This will take us until Christmas easily, but it would also, if we were to be here next year, would allow us to make salads again after a pause in January and February, from March until the mid part of April. And so this selection, you can use it as a reference if you want for your own polytunnel or greenhouse planting. The key is to keep them clean, so I'm going to give you a piece of advice. Look at these mushrooms in there. Keep them clean means that you want, even when you're not necessarily eating all of the salad, you don't want them to go like that where the leaves all touch, because then the leaves are going to start to rot, and then they attract slugs and they get diseases and stuff like that. So what I've done in this area, you can see it there, they were all like this, and I've harvested the outer leaves, removed any that were already damaged or started to rot. And if I keep them with airflow around the plant and airflow throughout the bed, lifted from the ground as much as possible in terms of harvesting the leaves that touch the ground or really on the ground like those. Doing that process allows them to stay healthy throughout the winter, even when it gets very dark and very damp. Hope that helps.